What's good, everybody? It is your man Bvon here with We Create Music TV. And today, well, tonight, really, right? Because it's like 7 o'clock. Tonight, we have an amazing guest with us. Tonight, we have multi talented singer, songwriter, and dancer, Chantel Nicole. Everybody, give it up, give it up.
Yay!
Yes, yes.
Hi. Hi.
Hello, hello. Welcome,
So happy to
welcome.
be here.
Good, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to We Create Music TV.
Well, thank you for having me, everyone. I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here. And
Yes,
thank you for
yes.
saying my name properly. Everyone calls me Chantal or Chantel,
Shant.
so it's
Yes.
Shan.
Yeah, Chantel.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's because people can't pronounce stuff.
That's what
But
I'm saying. He reads,
I
ladies and
read,
gentlemen.
I use Google. I use
That's what I'm
Google,
talking about.
like Google has that little, you put in a word and then you can like, how does it sound? Yeah,
That's what I'm
everybody
saying.
just put in there. It'll say the right stuff. But yeah,
Exactly.
welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to We Create Music TV. Glad that you are here to share your journey,
Yeah.
your information, your story with those who will be watching, participating with us, and also watching this later as
Yes.
well. All right. So if you can just start us off with, what really was your inspiration, your spark for getting into music. So just talk to us about your musical journey.
Yeah, sure. I wish I could say I was out of the womb, like I'm gonna be a star, right? It wasn't like that. I wanted to be a politician when I was younger, actually, or at least, yeah, I know. Shirley Chisholm inspired me. I was really into,
Hey.
yeah, And then I wanted to be an astronaut because of Dr. Mae Jemison. So nothing in my life was like, hey, perform. And
Mm.
then my mom put me into dance lessons. And I was so into it. I was like, oh my God, I want to go because Save the Last Dance was really popular at the time. So I was like, I'm going to go to Juilliard. So that's how that started. I started dancing, and my intentions were to go to like Juilliard or like a performing arts school, and then work on choreographing or performing for other artists, not becoming one myself.
Mm.
It wasn't until I kind of got a little bit of like a music bug, and I was like, oh, I always write poetry. I wonder if I could sing. My dad says I couldn't, but I asked for vocal lessons, got them, and then in high school when I was like 15, no, 16 and 17, I got lead role of the musical twice, which was really surprising for me getting it the first
Hey.
time. Yeah. So I mean from there I was like, "Oh, I want to do musicals. This is great. Acting would be fun for me. This would be perfect." But then when I got to college, I fell right back into that background dancing, and it wasn't
Mm.
until like 2017, my last year in college, that I said, "Oh, let me release my first song," and it was "I Like You," which is like this really cute kind of like sweet.
Oh no, I heard I
Um,
like you.
oh, you did?
Oh
Ah!
yeah. It
Thank you,
ain't she says like a cute, sweet. I like you is dope.
thank you,
That's a fire. That's a fire. I wish I could play it here. People can listen to it. But yeah,
thank you. I
no, we'll talk.
appreciate
We'll
it.
talk about all that. Yes, but go ahead. Keep sharing that.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And it was the same year that "Boot Up" came out, and I was like, "Y'all, come on! We're all in the mood for some loving." Like, "I Like You" was surprising for me because I was dancing background for a lot of people. Even getting the song recorded was like a bit of not an issue, but
Mm.
someone I was dancing background for, I asked them like, "Hey, where do you record?" And they wouldn't tell me. Like, "Oh, in a studio." Obviously, their background singer told me where to go.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I was surprised that I'm not surprised that the song was good, but like I'm surprised that the reception was so good because people say, "Oh, listen to my song," and it was my first song, and it wasn't bad. Like, me out
Right.
here.
Right. Yeah. The song is
Yeah.
actually for real.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah. The
much.
song. The song is good.
I appreciate you doing your research. Some people are like, "I
Oh
like you."
yeah.
What's that?
What's that song? Yeah. No, I listened to it.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
for sure. That was,
you.
but I didn't know it was the first song though. I
Thank you.
I don't think I would have guessed that was your first song
Get out of town.
because
Really?
yeah, because it didn't sound like your first song.
Thank
So
you.
so is was it In Soul? Is that the person who produced it?
Oh, In Soul. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a
So
yeah.
yeah, no, no. So
Mhm.
even the production doesn't sound like it's new production. So
Ooh, yeah. You're right.
so it sounds like, oh, this person's been doing this for a minute now. It sounds
Thank
really
you.
good.
I appreciate it. I mean, the original version of that song was more R&B in nature. Kalani was like really hot at the time, so there
Hmm.
was a lot of producers making beats like that. And just because I was a broke college student and I wasn't sure that the song was going to do well, I didn't like invest in that beat. So when I found Ensol, he just happens to be this Korean cat. So he was like making beats, and yeah, I reached out to him. I said, "Hey, man, I want to exclusively like let's make it happen." So we got it, and then when I met my producer, and the producer, the engineer, he was so helpful. And of course, the background singer I mentioned, she actually came with me to the recording session because I was like, I'm not going by myself. I'm like, I'm scared. I was still really young at the time too, so I was like nervous. But yeah, no, both of them were really helpful. And like I said, hey, listen, this is kind of like K-pop. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but can you like help me make this fit like that? And he's like, K-pop, what the? So K-pop wasn't popular at the time in 2017, 2016.
Hmm.
So it was just coming up, but
Right.
yeah, that's the intention. Yeah, but I haven't
Yeah.
worked with Ensol, I think, on one other song, but since then not really,
Hmm.
because I
Yeah, I
kind
think it
of.
was. I think it was "I Miss You" was the other
Yeah.
song with Insole.
Oh, you did your research.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was jamming too. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I was
I
jamming.
like I
Yeah,
miss you. Thank you. I
yeah. I
like I
like. I
miss you too.
like. I like "I Miss You" too. But
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So Insole is. I never heard of Insole,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna have to check out who Insole is because I heard the production. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me
Yeah,
go. Let me go see who this is.
he's
Yeah.
good. He's good for sure.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you all a little scoop. No one really knows this, but he and I kind of not got into it, but
Mm.
kind of sorta. I haven't worked with him since I Miss You, because something had happened with the I Miss You beat, and he tried to
Mm.
repurpose it.
Mm.
So I had to kind of show him the paperwork, like, hey, I know I'm not a big artist, but don't disrespect me like this.
Right.
So,
Right.
he's still talented, but what he did was kind of grimy,
Yeah. So
so.
that's. Mm.
He's talented. I won't take
I'm gonna
that
get
from
a.
him, but it was grimy.
I'm gonna get a lot of producers mad about this one.
Oh, what's
Um,
that?
a lot of producers try to do that.
Yeah, I'm shoot.
They
I
they
noticed.
they do. They try to do that. They.
I ain't the one.
Sorry,
No.
producers. Like I love y'all. I'm part of the producer community because I produce
Right.
too. Don't get it twisted. I got stuff to make beats with,
Right.
but I
Right.
do. I'm not saying that I know people personally. I
Yeah.
just know that through hearing about other producers and just in this industry that there are producers out there that do that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I send you the beat, you record over it, you put it out, but I got somebody over here
Right.
that,
Right.
yeah, no, we don't. Not unless the beat is a least beat. If it's
Exactly, and it
right,
wasn't least. I
but
mean,
if you right,
right. So
if
whatever
you
happened beforehand, that's okay. But like everything after, he completely remixed it and added different accents, and I was like, dude,
nah, yeah, come on
come
now,
on.
yeah, come on. There has to be some type of morality that's tied into that when I'm making music and I give you the song or
Mhm.
even if I give you the song, like hey, this is your
Right.
song, go ahead and take it, right, for free, do what you got to do.
Right.
Or even if you
Right.
purchase it in exclusivity, it's yours. Nobody else after that can get it, and I can't
Exactly.
really make another. Well, I think other people would disagree, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to hear no other iteration of the beat that I just got. I don't.
Exactly. Exactly. Because then it turns into a whole like content ID thing, and it sounds like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have time for that right now. So,
Right.
um, but that's what it is to be an independent artist. Sometimes you run into things like that because you don't have the proper channels to kind of look like, I got the big boy pants on, I'm wearing the
Mm-hmm.
big drawers. So you had to kind of assert your authority as an independent
Mm-hmm.
artist and as a woman on top of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
like
get
no
we'll
no
get to
harsh
that part.
feelings. Oh.
Yes.
No hard feelings, just I didn't appreciate it. He's still very
Hmm.
talented, but I don't know if I'm going to revisit him, you know.
Yeah. Just like I always tell people, do
Mhm.
good business.
Right.
Do good business. You do good business, people will always respect you. Your name within the community will always carry great respect, much weight. But just do good. It's not hard. That's the
No,
thing.
that's
It's
the
not it's
yeah.
not hard to do good business. It's hard to do grimy business. Like
Yes, it's too
because
much
now I
work.
gotta now I gotta be sneaky. Now I can't let you know that this song is out here, and I can't tell this
Yeah,
other person who make. Just do good business. It's easier to do that
right.
than to be grimy. I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, this is true. I agree, but not everyone is built like that. And I kind of
Mm-hmm.
get not not flack for it, but a lot of my friends are like, "Oh, you're way too nice when you're working." Like a lot of my industry friends, "You're way too nice." But hey, I'd rather have some integrity and have someone say, "You know what? We
Hmm.
didn't get along, but I can at least respect her business acumen, respect what
That's
she's
right.
doing." You know,
That's right.
so yeah.
That's at the end of the day, it's is the business relationship still being held intact, still being held respectful. I can disagree. We can go our separate ways, but at
Yeah,
least we know that we sat down, we had the conversation that we needed to have, and then
right.
if we decide to go our separate ways, and that's it, we still leave on good terms, right?
Correct.
That's because
Yes.
I was telling somebody yesterday. I did an interview yesterday,
Mhm.
and in that interview, I was telling the person I was talking to, when you really think about it, it's really all about. I guess I would have said it just that
Mhm.
good business, right?
Yeah,
If you don't agree with something, not agree with something, how can we still leave that situation
right.
amicably?
Right.
I mean,
Peace, not
that's
victory. I think a lot of people forget that.
oh
It's about
gosh,
peace, not victory.
and that's I think that's because of our own culture, because
Ah,
we live in a dog eat dog world, and so it's like
yeah.
I got to step on you to get ahead, or I have to do this in order to get
Right.
ahead, and it's like you don't really have to do that
Right. It's so
because
true.
things will come back around.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. You know,
It will come back
I,
around.
that's why I'm nice or as nice as I can be, you know?
Right, right. So you're from New York,
Yeah.
all right? So talk about the New York environment and your upbringing and how that impacted your music.
Oh, for sure. Well, I wish I could say I grew up in a borough, but actually I grew up on Long Island, and I think being a suburban bumpkin has helped a lot because there's nothing but families here and different kind of races depending on where you go. And not saying that my family was well off, but we have this kind of thing where it's like if you want something and you want better, then you work for it and you get it, right? So my parents sent me to private school all my life. And because of that, I was exposed to people who spoke Spanish, exposed to Asian, white, different cultures. And because of that, I had different influences. Like I have a song where a part of the verse is in Spanish because I've grown up with Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Salvadorians, talking to me and teaching me some Spanish. And
Hmm.
even with I Like You, and then my recent song, Here I Am, I had gotten into like K-pop music.
Hmm.
So the choreographer and I had met during a previous gig. So when I asked her, I said, "Hey, could you choreograph for me?" She says, "Yeah, let me see what you have." So there's so many different influences, and I really do love diverse environments. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm a black woman, and I love my sisters, I love my brothers out here, but just at the same time, I'm not going to completely ignore the love that has come my way from different
Hmm.
cultures. You know what I'm saying? So and I also teach English now too. So it's like because I've had such a diverse experience growing up with different people, I know how to engage with different cultures. Have that savoir faire that has allowed me to get as far as I have, to has allowed me to converse with people in such a way where they're like, "Oh, this girl, okay, she's smart. She has herself together," and with music, luckily because I have all these different spheres of influence, I'm into ballet funk from Brazil. I'm into K-pop. I'm into rock music. I'm into a lot of different things. I'm really into classical music because I went to dance school, and the only thing we played was this old lady from northern Europe somewhere playing on a record player classical
Mm.
music. Chopin, Mozart,
Hmm.
all these old classical sounds. And
Tchaikovsky.
granted, yeah, exactly, and granted, you don't hear this stuff in my music yet, but it's not that I don't have the influences. So certain things I might do vocally or certain things I might write stem
Hmm.
from the styling of listening to maybe like a Left Eye track or something like that,
Hmm.
or listening to Tupac or something like that, or the anguish I might have in my lyrics, like "and I Miss You" might come from a rock song I listen to. So because of my upbringing and having so many different people coming in and out of my life, I've been able to cultivate a writing style and even a fashion sense that
Hmm.
has kind of come together to make Chantel Nicole.
Hey,
So
that's awesome. And
yeah,
I love the ability that you are diverse,
right.
that you don't stick to just one sound or style, that you
Thank you.
incorporate a lot of different, and you can hear that in your music. You incorporate a lot of different cultures, and that is based upon your own experience, right? And so if I
Yeah.
grew up in an environment where, I was listening to salsa and
Hmm.
merengue and all of these different even Far Eastern culture music,
Yeah.
K-pop, and
Yeah.
just really getting into some of those Celtic type music. I'm going to incorporate
Hmm.
those into what I do because
Yeah.
that's my environment. That's what I like to
Right.
listen to. It's so funny because I remember when I started producing, I actually took the beat to the Nutcracker. I can't remember the actual name. I actually made a hip hop beat to the Nutcracker.
That's
It's
dope.
it was called Pandemonium, and my wife,
Get out of here.
she loves it. She has that thing too. She's like, I want to use this one day and something that I'm gonna do, and I'm like, no, don't use that. Nah,
Go off, wifey. Wifey loves
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's not even mixed. Like, nah, I was just starting out. I
Right.
was just trying to experiment. I did a beat to that. I did a beat to
Yeah.
G.I. Joe. I did all types of weird,
Get
crazy
out of
stuff. Oh yeah,
here, G.I.
no,
Joe. But
I
that
was
is indicative of your influences. Like,
right.
even with certain theme songs as children, Thundercats theme song was good. The X-Men
Hey,
animated
hey,
series
why
theme
can't we
song
do a
was
Thundercats
epic.
one? Right,
That's what I'm. Come on,
right.
all of these crazy sounds in these things we used to be influenced by.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, I get it. I mean, GI Joe is awesome.
G.I.
Sorry. I'm
That's
tickled.
right.
I'm sorry.
They're like,
I'm
yo,
tickled.
Joe. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The whole thing
that's
was dope.
awesome.
Whole thing was
That's
dope.
absolutely
But,
awesome.
but even it just speaks to taking the things that are in your own environment and applying those things to what you do musically, right? It's
Yeah.
not cutting those things off, but it's embracing those and embracing other people who love what you do. The
Yeah.
world loves K-pop, right?
Yeah.
Who has
Yeah.
not who has not heard of BTS?
Right. Not at this point, right? At
Right.
this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
look. So I have this
Yeah.
story, right? I have this
Mm.
story. I have a
Mm.
BTS story,
Oh.
which I didn't know I had a BTS story,
I
but I
didn't know
but I
I
have
had
a
a.
BT I have a B. A lot of people have this same BTS story. They just didn't know at the time that it was BTS,
Oh.
right? So I was at I was at ASCAP
Mm.
2016,
Okay.
and at ASCAP, they have, it's a huge conference.
Right.
Tons of people are there, and they do showcases and all these other things. And they had this one session, I forgot what it was called, but they had this session. People got up there and played and did their stuff.
Hmm.
But I remember that there was this group that got up there of Korean boys,
Get out.
and they got up there and they started singing. I had left. I had left to take a phone call, and a friend of mine who was there, he texted me. He was like, "Bro, you got to come back into this room." I was like,
Hmm.
"What's good? Like, what's going on?" He said, "Come in this room." So I went into the room,
Hmm.
and they put on a show that was like, oh
Hmm.
my God, to the point, everybody in the room, standing ovations. And so we look
Awesome.
back. So we look back now, and we're like,
Right.
we've seen these guys before. It was like, where did we see
Yeah.
BTS? Like, what? Are you serious? Yes, but
Hmm.
K-pop has taken such a storm
Hmm.
of the world, right? So when Gangnam Style came out, that kind of was
Right.
like you know,
The
people now
comical
start,
introduction.
right,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
comic introduction to K-pop. But there
Right.
have been K-pop groups even
Hmm.
before
Yes.
Psy, and that people really
Yeah.
didn't really understand and gravitate towards that. They knew what K-pop, the power of
Right.
K-pop. I mean, K,
Right.
it is a power that they have, and a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know that
Hmm.
Teddy Riley
Yeah.
is a
Come
K,
on now.
is a
Come on
K-pop
now.
is a K-pop producer, right?
You already
Like,
know. Yeah.
you already know. Like, he was one of the guys who went over and it was like, yeah, I'm here to help build this whole K-pop thing. And he
Yeah.
really was, a guy who went over to Korea, uh, and helped, start the whole K-pop thing. I love K-pop. Like, I love groups. Of
Yeah.
course, I love BTS.
Ooh. Yeah.
But there's a group that I like called Six, CIX.
Yes, she's
Yes,
a
like,
movie star. Wasn't that production good? That production
look,
was
look,
disgusting. Absolutely
look.
disgusting.
Look, and how I heard of them
Yeah,
was
how?
through an anime called God of High School.
Get out of town. Well, they
But
gotta sink in that show.
yeah, they have the theme song to the show.
Get
So,
out of
oh yeah,
here.
as soon as I
Because
heard that song,
CIX
I
is
was
kind of like,
like,
not obscure, but they're not like big
right,
yet.
yeah. And so
Wow.
they had a
Wow.
great song that I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is awesome. And so I started listening to them. Oh, I listen to
that's
K-pop. Don't
amazing.
get it twisted,
Come
y'all.
on now,
Come on,
Mr.
y'all.
Vaughn. Let's
Like,
get
I
it.
get it. Hey, I listen
Yeah,
to
so you
K-pop.
understand. So you
I
understand. I mean,
do. I do.
there's so many of us writing for them. I mean, my mentor last year, the one that kind of gave me the assignment essentially to write Here I Am.
Mm-hmm.
She's a black woman who wrote for the biggest K-pop group, EXO. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? Like, she's a black woman and she's wrote four, maybe I think even more, like four or more of their top hit songs. And it's
Wow.
like, you know, we're out there. And then I used to work for a Korean company. We did publishing. I would see this dude from Africa, this black dude. He had the most African name. I thought he was Japanese. I was like, what kind of name is this? But, you know, but yeah, there's a lot of us doing it, you know, and even Curtis Richardson, he did All I Have with J-Lo and what's his name? J-Lo and LL Cool J. He made one of the biggest K-pop songs out there. You know, we are out there, and I think a lot of people are like, I'm not touching that, and I hate not even trying to be
You
funny.
better touch it.
Chinese stuff. I'm like, it's not Chinese, first of all.
Yeah, right.
Second
First of all, it ain't
all,
Chinese, but
that's first. Second
Right.
of all, they want what we got. Okay.
that's why they come. That's why they seek
Yes.
externally outside of Korea. They
Yeah.
are looking for people who, I mean, they go to the people over in the Netherlands. They
Yep.
go to Sweden. They go to
Yes.
Europe. They go to America. They go to Africa. They go all over.
Yeah.
I can't remember too many K-pop songs that's actually produced by a Korean producer.
Not in a long time. Yeah, not in a really long time. Unless it's like a there's this one group, like the guy is just a hit maker. Their executive producer is a hit maker. So he made the group, he produces for them, but he's in Korea. Like, I mean,
Right.
and even if they are in Korea, their sound is around jazz, old school R&B. Like, it's us.
Yeah,
You know? So
that's
it's
right.
like, people, when I was younger, they're like, what is this K-pop stuff? And like you said, there were groups that came out here, but they were women. And then there was one woman named Boa, and she sang the theme song for Inuyasha. And that's how I got into K-pop.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's how I got into it, because of her, not because of a man
Okay.
sitting there going, take off my shirt, I'm a hot Korean dude. It was this woman sitting there popping, and I'm like, yo, who is this? Because Sierra is one of my other influences. So Sierra was
Okay.
hot at the time, and I was like, yo, no one can dance like Sierra. Then I saw Boa, and I was like, oh, no one can dance like
You're
Boa.
like, oh, right. You're like, oh.
Yeah,
You
she's
know, I
one of my
can't.
tops.
No, go ahead.
No, she's one of my tops for sure. Like, top favorite artists for sure. But it's awesome that you know CIX and all those other groups.
Oh
and stuff.
yeah.
So-
Oh, I do. There was a. Have you seen the documentary "This Is Pop" on Netflix?
Oh, yes. Yes.
So there's a K-pop section on there,
yes.
and I can't remember the name of the guy, but he kind of started the whole K-pop movement. And
Lee Suman.
was it Lee Suman?
So Taeji
well,
and the boys.
Well, BTS did a remake of his song.
Also
and
Taeji.
Yeah, so Taeji, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
BTS did a remix of his song, and they had
Yeah.
him on the song performing on stage with him. But he kind of was like the originator of K-pop, and then you know something he made it big. I don't know what happened, but I can't remember the show. Something happened. He kind of fell by the wayside a little bit, but then he came back. He has this huge company, those over there that puts out K-pop. Yeah, K-pop is
Yeah, it's like
artists-
hip hop. Yeah.
right. Artists, songwriters, producers. I'm telling you right now. If you just if the only thing that you're doing, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be straight up honest. If the only thing you're doing is just sitting in your basement making trap music, you missing out.
Come on
me.
out.
You
That's
miss.
what I'm
Oh my
saying.
gosh, K.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know how to produce K-pop. Well, figure it out. Like,
You know, honestly, when you get that brief, don't worry about it. They'll tell you what they want, you do it. And if they say, hey, we need, the only difference is, I would say, is that the pre's like are a little bit more in depth. So you have a verse, you have your pre, you have your chorus, you got your verse, and it follows. You got to have a real actual bridge that sounds different from everything else. The verse is kind of like what it is. Pre, you taking some stuff away. Chorus is that verse, which is more added sounds, more energy. Like, it's not
That's
hard
right.
to do. You just got to do it. And they'll tell you what they do and do not want. I mean,
they will tell you.
they will.
They will tell you.
Yeah, they will.
That's
But yo,
right.
seriously, honestly, there's so many people like there's this guy who does rap in the UK. I forgot his name right now. Outlaw the artist, straight out from UK, just rapping. They legit had a placement with one of the biggest K-pop companies because they're just good and they happen to be in the room when it was going down. The guy who wrote for Tamar Braxton, Tyon, Christian, he sings R&B songs. He be sitting there hitting runs at Brandy's YouTube. He's living in South Korea right now, writing for them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
like the opportunities are there.
You know, I wanted to move to South Korea.
You know what?
I did.
Come
I
on.
did. I wanted to move to South Korea, But you know what really makes me want to move to South Korea versus anything else? It's not
Huh.
music. It's not
Yeah.
music at all.
Food.
It's film.
Ah, why the
They
film?
they put out the best. Oh, come on, Squid Game. Like, look at Squid
Okay.
Game.
This is true.
Like, come on
No, this
now.
is true.
Like,
This
right,
is true. Yeah.
Vincenzo,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
put
You
out.
watched that. Ooh.
I am a K drama fanatic.
Respect.
Oh yeah,
Respect.
oh yeah.
Respect.
I watch a lot of K drama.
You know what? I respect
people,
that so much. It
people
takes
know.
time to watch them. They're like hour-long episodes. People don't know the
Oh yeah,
dedication you need.
Vagabond. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, there's so many shows that I was sitting just
whoa.
and here's the funny part. My wife and I
Oh,
was sitting watching. Like
uh-huh.
when we started watching Vincenzo, like
Yeah.
I started watching Vincenzo first, and so I'm sitting and watching it. She comes in and joins, and at the end of
Uh-huh.
the first episode, we go,
Get out.
"All right, let's play the next one."
Whoa.
We
That's
go
awesome.
after the next one's over, like,
We still here?
all right, we can do one more. Let's go, and
Whoa.
we will binge watch them. But
That's awesome.
that was she was like, let's go to South Korea for like 6 months or a year. Let's do it. I'm
Why
like, yeah.
not?
I'm like,
Why
yeah, let's do
not?
it. Right?
Why
Because
not?
they make some of the best TV shows. They're just how they write. They're what was the movie that came out?
Parasite?
Parasite. Yes, and how? Oh my gosh,
Your
just
reaction, he's just like shook. Absolutely
how
shook.
they film that. Okay, I don't want to get off tangent. You know, I
Right, right,
look,
right. No, no, but
maybe
listen, we're here
maybe
though.
we right here. Right.
We're here
Yes,
for
that's
sure.
right. So as someone who is multi-talented,
Yeah.
multifaceted, you have a lot of things that you're capable of doing. How would you describe your overall style, your overall sound?
Ah. Let's see. Well, my overall sound is something that's definitely eclectic. I'm trying to cultivate it a lot more, and that's what I'm trying to do with chroma, right? So chroma is like the purity or intensity of color. If you work like in any kind of art, saturation or whatever. So I want each of these songs to represent a certain color, and I want them to really have a life of their own, but just kind of encompass all the sounds of like pop that I like pop R&B, maybe a little bit of future bass, maybe something that's uh like a little bit of lo-fi pop. I'm trying to figure out how to make all these things make sense. And then of course I still really do like K-pop. Like the way I write kind of follows that format. And I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing, but for me it works and it makes me feel as if my music's more interesting because the one thing about me is that I consider myself something that's like always kind of changing. Like I'll get bored singing the same melody. So
Mm,
like in I Miss You, I changed the pre-hook a little bit. So the pre-hook doesn't have the same wording, or even in Here I Am, I extended the pre-hook just to make it more interesting because it's easy just to sit there and fly over the same pre-hook. It's easy to do that.
mm-hmm.
It's easy. I mean, even Ashanti complained that when she was writing Happy, not Happy, Foolish, uh, Irv Gotti was like, yo, we're not going to put Jay on the record. Write another bridge. And we all know, baby, when you hear me, baby. We all
That's
know it,
right.
right? But she put that effort in. So it does take more effort to come up with a different melody.
Mm,
But when I'm in a room writing, I want to challenge those with me. Like, hey, listen, whatever you're trying to do, don't just take a drum away, completely change that bridge section, extend that pre-hook, give me something where people heard it, they go, whoa, what's that? Or like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. So I would say that my music is something unexpected. It's like a little bit of a prism. Like when the light shines in, different colors come out, like iridescence. Just you don't know what you're going to see. You might have to listen to it a couple times to catch something else. You might have to look at my videos one more time to see something else. So I guess you could just say like my music is just a prism of just iridescence. I don't know. It's just something new each time, right? Every time I listen to Here I
mm-hmm.
Am, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that, So it's
Mm,
fun, That's always the goal is to make it entertaining, not just something that was like, I want you to feel it, but also remember how much fun you had listening to the song,
mm. That's
So it's always
good.
been important. Yeah.
Yeah, an iridescent prism that
Yeah,
comes
like a
in
little
because
prism.
it comes in and prisms give off so many different rays of light, right? And it's just, and I like
Come
that
on now.
because when you listen to, and that's the thing, because when you listen to a song, you should be picking up something new. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear her say that last time.
Right.
What was I listening to the other day? You know what? I'm not even gonna go there because I don't remember what it was. But it was a song that I listened to over and over again. And
Mhm.
yesterday I listened to it and I was like, Oh, I didn't even know he said that.
You know, that happened to me with
Wow.
Beyonce's song "Love on Top."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, honey, honey, I can see the sun away from here. Can't you see the sun on my window pane? It's not window pane. Everyone goes pain. It's pain.
Mm.
I didn't peep it until like I listened to it
Mm-hmm.
again. I was like, that's not the note. Like so, it's just because you'll convince yourself that's the Mandela effect. You
Mm-hmm.
think, oh, I know this song.
I
This is my
know this
jam,
song.
and then you sit there and just listen. And it's like, oh, that's not the note, or what's that accent, or
Right.
So yeah, even if you can't recollect the exact thing, you know it
Mm-hmm.
has happened, and you're like, she's got a point there. I know what she means.
Yeah, yeah. I was doing something, and all of a sudden, as I was listening to the song, I went, "I've never heard that before."
Right,
Wow.
right,
Okay. And I think that's my opinion, right? So this is my opinion. I
right.
believe that music is an experience.
Yeah,
And so you should experience every facet of the music from the intro, the whether you do an intro or pre-hook and then all that, right?
yeah,
However you format your song,
yeah.
it should take you on a journey and it should tell a story. It shouldn't just be, here's the same sounds that you have for the first 16 bars and then we add one or two and then we go right
Yeah,
back to the same repetitiveness. I want
exactly.
I want changes. I want
Right.
things to happen in that song that's going to catch me off guard. That's going to,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it's going to wake me up. That's going to make me
yeah.
want to tune in to what the artist is saying and or what the music is doing.
Mhm, mhm,
And it's
mhm.
like,
Yes.
oh, I like that. Like I can get into it and I can feel it. And that's something I would want to listen to over and over again.
Right.
Because like I said, I'm always picking something up new in that song. Like, oh wow. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that's what that person said. And let me find out
Right.
what does that mean? So I'm
Right.
Googling stuff. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can see
Right.
that.
Right. And I think people appreciate that. I mean, can you imagine like you're a producer, right? And you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna do something funky. Like you did something real crazy. Maybe you automated something. Maybe you put some little weird drill sound and everyone's kind of just like focused on one section of the song. I get that like songs are like that's I guess I get it. Words are really important. But if I were a producer and I did some sick stuff and then you have to wait for a Genius episode to explain what I did, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, y'all
I'm
didn't
like,
hear the
man.
drill. Y'all didn't hear what I just did in that track, But I always try to think about how can I play with um, the production or how can I get this producer to go along with what I'm doing with my words here. So, luckily I found someone that is willing to work with me. I found two someones who's willing to work with me
Well, that's good.
on that, and it's tough because explaining the whole do not just fly it over, don't just cut the verse, like
And
having
just
to
copy it
explain
over
that.
here, right?
Yeah, because it's easy, and I get it. It's easy. It's tough to try to find new sounds. It is difficult, and then make it sound complimentary without having
Mm-hmm.
it sound like a jambalaya of things. But even if it does sound like a jambalaya, that's okay. I mean,
That's
if
okay.
Travis Scott can sit there and do sicko mode and change a
It,
song up how
it's
many times,
right. Three
right?
times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I'll be honest. I only listened to Sicko Mode in the beginning.
It's okay because
I do. When that chord comes on with that,
Mhm.
wah, 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 I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, that was so sick. But then it stops and goes to a different beat, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm okay. I'll go to the next song. But but
right, right.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I
The
can go to the
Transformers have arrived.
I can go to the next song. But that
Yeah,
beginning and when
yeah,
Drake oh yeah, I was like, oh, that whole thing was awesome. But I
right.
love that. There's actually a K-pop song
Hmm,
that was produced by a producer by the name of Simon Servita
hmm.
that changes like 8 different times in the song.
What song is it?
Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't.
Is it? Oh, darn! It's a girl group or boy group?
It's a boy group.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a boy group. Look, I'm over here cheating. Like,
go ahead. It's
uh,
okay. It's okay. We love a good little bit of checking on the research. We want to
yeah,
make sure
it's
we have the
like
facts. The
what
facts.
was the song that he did? It was
There's.
the
Is he
song
from
was
the UK? Is he from the
he's from
UK?
he's from Canada.
From Canada? Okay, because a lot of
Yeah.
UK music, like there's a girl group called Girls Aloud. Their songs are very much like a K-pop song. Even like Little Mix, a lot of their songs got shopped out to like K-pop groups because of the sound switching and the harmonies and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I hope you
Look, I'm
find
over.
it. I truly
Look,
do.
look, I'm over here looking now. Like, what's the name of the song? Because I found it's the song is called the band is called SB19.
That's it.
Oh, it's not even
That
a
sounds
K-pop
old.
song. It's not even a
Okay.
K-pop song. It's
Is it
a
Jay?
Filipino song.
Oh, okay.
And
Honestly,
mm,
they embrace a lot more like musicality out there.
oh my
I remember when
gosh,
I was
this
yeah, yeah, they
yeah
definitely do.
this
I was talking to Chick, and she told me she's like, honestly, I enjoy writing for Eastern artists because you get the opportunity to kind of explore different melodies. It challenges you, and then when you have to think about a main vocal, a rapper,
hmm
a lead vocal, when you have to think about so many different parts, it pushes you to write better. It pushes your pen. Like it is what it is,
it
you
pushes your
know?
pen. It
Exactly.
put
Even with
so,
me, I songwrite and I try to tell a
so,
story, and I'm like, how can I progress the
hmm
story? All my songs tell a story, like all of them.
mm,
Sometimes I wish I just had like a straight up just like foolishness, lyrics just with a hot top line, but I just
hmm
love to tell a story when I'm writing. So yeah,
wow. So that's good because that kind of
yeah.
segues into my next question. So what
Oh,
inspires you? What inspires you to do what you do?
you know what? It's gonna sound selfish, but I just want to feel good. I think I've always said this when I was younger too. I've wanted to make songs that made me feel good, and by proxy made other people feel good. I used to try to write like I was really heavily into Left Eye from TLC, so I used to study her flow, study her writing style, and I used to write like inspirational raps when I was younger. My mom was like, "Oh my god, my daughter! She was so proud of her. Oh my god!" So she was really proud of me. But eventually I kind of like segued into like rock music. And I remember how that used to make me feel. And even though I didn't have like a troublesome childhood, I kind of had like, even though I was the youngest, I was treated like the eldest. So I was always expected to do right because I was doing right all the time. So
Mm,
like I always had like this weird like angst. So if Numb was on, I was sitting there, I've become so numb. Like just full of
hmm
angst for no reason, right? So I was like, what makes me feel good? And that's writing about what I'm feeling. I think the older I'm getting and the more music I'm making, I'm getting more comfortable with being more honest about my feelings. Like I write a lot about relationships, but I don't go into depth about what happens to me. Eventually, I
Okay.
will get there, but for now, I just want to kind of tackle the bright spots of my lovely prism. There are some dark sides, but that's for the next project. That's for the next project. But yeah, I feel like right now it's storytelling. Right now is just like uh, tell a story that people can, I guess, be happy about right now because there's already a lot of chill, sad music or whatever, or
hmm
music about debauchery, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there isn't anything that's really bright. That's saying like, hey, I love you. I want to take care of you. I'll be there for you. Like here I am.
hmm
Or even with I like you, it's like I like you. I like it's cute, it's sweet,
Right.
but that doesn't mean the song isn't good. But yeah, so right now what drives me is just wanting to be happy and wanting people to feel what I feel, taking
Mm.
that light and, refracting it and projecting it on other people, you know? So right now that is the main focus.
Good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I love that. I love that inspirational piece and those things that you take to tell your story and to put those things into your music that people can relate to. Because to me, those are the most impactful stories. It's not
Right.
about, oh, I'm at the club and I got the girl and I got the car and I'm hitting and I'm throwing up racks and all that.
Right.
No,
I mean, I could do
like
that, but why would
you
I want to?
could.
No offense. Like right now, that's not my focus,
Right.
you
Well,
know?
I'm not throwing up. I don't have racks to throw up, so I
Let's keep
can't,
it real, right?
I can't live that life. Like, I'm not driving what they talking about. And honestly,
Right.
they're
I
not driving.
can't relate.
Look, honestly, they're
Yeah.
not driving what they talking about either. But that's a different story.
That's what
So
I'm
what I'm
saying. I
talking,
can't
what I'm
relate.
talking
What I
about, I
can
can't
relate
relate.
to is having a crush. What I can relate to is
Right.
feeling good or like maybe feeling really crestfallen when something
Mm-hmm.
doesn't go my way. With I Miss
That's
You,
right.
it's probably the most emotional song that I have. But with the next project, I do have another. With Chroma, I have a song that kind of tackles what happened the 2 years, essentially 2.5, no, 1.5 year I wasn't writing music. So,
Mm.
I mean, I will get more in depth, but just for now, I want people to have a good, bright impression of me so that when they go deeper, they're like, oh, she can sing, or oh, she's really,
Mm-hmm.
beneath the surface.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
You know that there's that iceberg right here, but there's a
yeah,
lot more that lives underneath. You know,
exactly.
one of the most inspiring albums to me that I listen to and I can just relate to. And I think it's her best album ever. I don't care how many albums she's ever put out.
Hmm.
Nothing will ever compare to Mary J. Blige's My Life album. It's to me,
Oh,
it's just the best
yeah,
album that she's ever done.
yeah,
But it was rooted in pain
yeah,
and rooted in struggle and the things that she was going through. And I think so many people connected with My Life. They were just like, oh my gosh, I
yeah.
feel what you're feeling.
Hmm.
And a lot of times in today's music, I don't know if I could feel what they're feeling. And
Right.
it's probably because I'm older too. So that's probably the issue too.
Well,
I'm
I'm not
not,
that much old. I'm not old, but
I'm not.
sometimes I feel a little bit disconnected.
Hmm.
Um, because I'm not even fond of this in my relationships with people that I know. Like I don't like trauma bonding too often. So sometimes I just don't. I just like just gravitating toward a song because it's about like a heartbreaker. Like to be honest
Right.
with you, I avoided SZA's Control album because something had happened to me with this guy I was talking to, and I was like, I
Mm.
refuse to listen to this and feel worse than how I feel right now. So, so I mean, now I know the work of the
Right.
album and I appreciate it, but at the time I wasn't thinking like, let me go to that, you
Hmm.
know. Like not saying that her points weren't valid because now I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember feeling like that. Ooh, these are some good words, but like, it's just. Ooh, I try not to go that far because there are so many
Mm.
artists that do that very well. You know, not saying that's their
Right.
lane, but honestly, if you know how to write a beautiful song about your emotions, like
Hmm.
Adele, no offense, I will never hear Adele sing "Upgrade You" by Beyonce. I will never hear her
Nope.
sing like "Flawless" by, but that's her lane. She excels at that,
She
right?
sure
And that's
does.
completely fine. For me, y'all will not catch me out here sitting in every single music video, in a chair crying my heart out. But every so often I can give it to you, Even
Right.
so, even Mary kind of was singing just fine after a while. She got
Yep. She sure
yeah,
was. She was
yeah,
like, I'm back on my feet now. I know exactly what I'm supposed to
right.
be doing. I'm Mary J.
Right, but for
That's
real,
right.
I mean, I would love to write a song. I think that's probably one of my challenges, though, like actually just kind of just putting it on paper and being like,
Mm.
"Hey, I'm hurting," but and that's
Mm.
that's something I would like to not tackle, but for lack of a better word, tackle eventually. Just go a little bit deeper. But I'm also a very
Right.
private person, so
Okay.
that's
Yeah, look, me too.
yeah. So
I get it. I don't need
playing with
everybody in my
that.
business.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's
Yeah, no.
'cause people already have like speculations here. Not saying I'm like huge and famous or anything like that, but if I do any kind of segment or something and there's a guy involved, the first question people ask is, "Are you guys still talking?" No, it wasn't a segment for a show. Like I'm not.
Wow. Right.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. People form those perceptions just based
right.
upon whatever they see and whatever they think. So
Yeah,
so let's talk about your music, right?
yeah.
Let's get into that. Let's talk about
Hmm.
your upcoming project Chroma
Yeah.
and the inspiration behind Chroma. When can we expect Chroma to drop so we can really tune into that music and take hold of it?
Yeah.
And then the question is,
Hmm.
so Here I Am is the single that's on the song,
Yeah.
right? That's the
Yeah.
single. I mean, but what about
Yeah.
Like It? What about
Oh,
Like It? Is
like
that
it. Like it is part of Chroma too,
what about
actually.
I Miss You?
Okay, so basically, I Like You, I Want You, and I Miss You. Those three songs are part of like this audio
Yeah.
triptych kind of like,
Okay.
it's a digital project, like the Me and You project. So
Mm-hmm.
everything is me and you, me and you, me and you. And that's just the beginning, middle, end of a relationship. Like that was me getting my feet wet, right? With Chroma, I'm actually kind of taking like this Pantone approach. So each song will have a Pantone card or a Shan-tone card, and each color will represent a song. Like with the red color, I'm going for like a rainbow Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. So there's only gonna be 6 songs. There might be some more depending on how much I get done and how much money I have. But the Shantones represent each color. Like the first song is it's red, so it's gonna be passion. There's also gonna be colors of black, because the song is gonna center around my whole imposter syndrome I had. The orange is also paired with a little bit of blue. That's Here I Am, to kind of represent that like fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight theme of Here I Am. Like It was the bilingual song that I released 2 years prior. That was my song that say like, "Hey guys, after I miss you, I'm not dead. I promise. I'm just going through some stuff right now." And that was like the kind of the buzz single. It wasn't the lead single, and I am very proud of that song. It's probably one of my favorites because it literally is like super flirty, and I don't write flirty songs. So I was like, oh, this is great. Well, at the time, I didn't write flirty songs. Now I just kind of write whatever I want. But at the time, I was like, is this too much? Nah, I'm gonna do it. So I put it out, and I just wanted to have fun, and I did. It's not the strongest vocally, but it's fun. I like it. It's cheeky. So yeah, with Chroma, it's meant to kind of just go through all the colors of the rainbow. It's not tied to LGBTQ, but if people want to relate it that way, it's fine. But yeah, each Shan-tone is a single. And I'm hoping to drop it by spring 2022, so next year. Money willing. That's why I've been working really hard. I teach English. I do some brand promotions. I've been doing some acting work because I do act. So I've just kind of been doing some roles here and there. Nothing big, but y'all might see me on a little streaming service near you.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah. So right now that is the goal. And yeah, I try to just get all this stuff out because I am doing everything alone. And it's not because I don't want to try to ask for help, like songwriting and everything like that, but it is a little bit difficult to explain to people who are used to Western style the process of like a K-pop structured song or production. So it's been a lot of like, yeah, no, don't do this. That's not what I asked for. Okay, here's some notes. Here's like a ton of examples. And I don't want to have to waste all this time training someone on what I want. So that's been the kind of like not the issue, but the obstacle. But you know, we jump over hurdles here. We hop right over. So yeah, that's the goal. But yeah, I'm really excited. And the next single is called Paradise. It's going to be the green one, but also with a nice little gradient. But yeah, it's a nice little sultry little thing. I wrote it in 2018 actually, so it's been written for a long time. But I'm finally going to record it because I purchased the beat. Yay!
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm excited. I purchased all the beats for my songs now. I just have to record them. But yeah, so gotta get into the studio, and I want to make sure I pay everyone. I don't play that whole.
Right.
Can I get a favor? I don't. Out here with that.
She's like, here's the money.
Yeah, no, I hate because people used to do it to me. Oh, you like dancing? You want to dance background for me? Yeah, when I was like 18, 19, yeah, it was a great opportunity. But now I'm like, you know, in my 20s. I'm not.
Right. You want to dance for exposure?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I'm like, what? Oh no. Get out of here. You know. So. Have you ever seen the Boondocks episode where Jasmine opens up a lemonade stand? And Riley comes out, and he's like, "It's all I got. Give me some lemonade." She goes, "Aw, the biggest Shan fan. That's so cute." And Riley goes, "This is all I got." And Jasmine's like, "Lemonade is $1." He goes, "Yo, all this money I put into this?" No, I don't play that no more. Shan costs more than $1, but I need all my money before you ask me to do something.
That's
or
right.
at least give me a cut of the video. Like I always ask people, like, if you're not gonna pay me, pay for parking, feed me, and give me my edit of my section, so I can at least use it. But
yeah, there's ways to do it, and
totally.
As long as people are able to negotiate appropriately. If you want money, cool. Here's the money for it. If there's other ways to negotiate that you're open to, cool. We can do those things too. But as long as people know at the end of the day, this is a business, and we need to get money. We need to get paid.
Yes.
Right? Nobody can live and eat off exposure. That can't happen. Yeah, that can't happen. So
I'm not a plant. This is not photosynthesis. Exposure to whatever is not going to help me right now. I need money.
That's right. Come on, bro. You could do this for exposure. No, I can't.
Right. Yep. That's why I say no now. Or I'm like, oh, ask someone else. Or if I say no, I provide alternatives. Again, that's me being nice again, almost too nice. But I always try to say, if I say no, here's an alternative. Ask this person.
Yep.
And when they give you their price,
you're gonna come back to me like, right? Hey, but once again, that's doing good business. It's not the fact that you don't want that person to still be successful in what he or she is doing. You're providing them with an alternative.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
I get it. You probably can't afford me to do whatever it is you're asking me to do, or you don't want to pay me that amount. I get it. But here's somebody that you can go to that may accept what you're asking.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And they walk away usually from the whole thing. And I'm like, exactly, because you didn't really want it. I mean, from
Mm-hmm.
every single production I've had, even if it's a little bit of money, I've paid everyone. I paid everyone. Unless they volunteer their thing, I've extended thanks to everyone. A young lady, her name is Sujin. Shout out to Sujin. She was carrying around tissues for my first music video. Had she not done that, people would have been clocking me for looking like a sweaty, greasy glazed donut. I told her thank you every chance I got because she didn't have to be there. She didn't have to,
Mm-hmm.
but she wanted to, and therefore I thank you. I can't think of one person I've worked with that I haven't said thank you to. Even if
Mm.
I'm like, "Oh, this person's, like, really annoying me. They're not listening." I will say thank you. Because at the
Yeah,
end of the
I mean,
day, I'm
because
gonna be there.
yeah, I mean, they're still putting in their time and effort, and even though it may
Exactly.
not be exactly what we want, we're still appreciative of them being there, and hope they're
Yes.
receptive to feedback. Because I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
hey, that's not really what I really want. So,
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
let me help you along the way.
Right, it's
So
happened.
yeah, it happens.
Even with people I've paid, I'm like, "This is not what I asked for, but
Hmm.
we're gonna be nice."
Right. So for Chantel Nicole, what has been some of your major challenges that you face, and what did you learn from some of those?
Ah, okay. Well, I've learned that, not everyone is for me. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of people don't realize that love bombing happens here in the industry as well. Oh my God, you're so great. You're so this, you're so that, you're so this. I'm down, I'm down, I'm down. But a lot of people don't really want to see everything with you to the end, right? Um, I had to learn, I guess, not the hard way, but again, back to what I said about me even like paying people if they've done a service, I will pay them. I will give them what they deserve. But I've had somebody drop out on me and she had already done all the rehearsals. It was like maybe 7 days, 6 days before the video shoot, and she dropped out. Talented dancer, gorgeous dancer. But she kind of put me in a little situation there. So I had to ask someone else to learn choreography in what only 3 hours. So, I had to learn the hard way, like, not everyone's for you, and also have a backup plan. Always have a contingency plan. But yeah, that taught me a lot, and also not to hold people, not to overestimate my significance in people's minds.
Mm.
I think a lot of people kind of get lost in their own sauce. I mean, I'm a victim of it too. We get lost in our own sauce where we think, I'm great. And yeah, you are a great person. But to other people, they may not value you as something that's special or regard you as someone that requires all their energy. They're doing it out of like cordiality or being polite, but n- you know, not everyone really cares. And
Mm.
because of that kind of notion of me being like, okay, not everyone thinks I'm a special little unicorn, and that's completely fine. Uh, Oh, sorry. I've had, I guess I g I'm okay with me. I'm okay with not being special in someone else's eyes, and therefore I don't seek approval from other people. Because if I place that much power in their hands, if I don't get the result or get the reaction that I'm expecting, then it crushes
Mm.
me, right? Or it crushes anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and also good things I've learned is know enough of everything so that when you bring other people onto your team, they can just expand upon your idea. Or if they're kind of slacking, you can be like, hey, you didn't bring the C stand for that light like I told you to. You know what I'm saying? They're like, whoa, she knows what a C stand is. Yes, I do.
See, there you
Yes, I
go.
do. And that's not, I asked you to bring it here. So, I mean, there's good and bad of each thing, but I definitely think that uh, having a proper calculation of my value toward other people, like, I don't think I'm better than anyone, and I don't think anyone's less than me. Like I said, that young lady, Sujin, was drying my face off left and right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the choreographer, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the people who walk away from me, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know not to
Yeah.
ask you next time.
Right.
So,
That's right.
yeah,
Not everybody can go on the journey with you. Not everybody can
yeah,
experience,
right,
that same experience with you. And sometimes
right.
people,
Yeah, the scenic route isn't for everyone. I get
it's
it.
not for everyone.
You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? Chantel Nicole scenic, the scenic route.
Hey, there we go. See, look at that.
Yeah,
Look.
yeah.
There
The
you
scenic
go.
route isn't for everyone.
It's
Some
not.
people want instant grat. I'm like, no, honey, this is a journey.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but this is a journey, not the destination kind of thing.
It is. It is
But
a
yeah,
journey. It is a journey.
yeah,
You know, how many artists and people I speak to that want it so fast.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I dropped a song the other day. How come it's not, on Billboard today? And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is a journey. It's not a. This is an oven. It's not a
Yeah.
microwave.
Ooh,
You know what I'm
yes. Yeah.
saying? This is not a microwave. This is an oven,
Yeah.
and it's gonna take some time to cook.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I,
For sure.
I know people know it.
Hmm.
I
But
believe they know it.
reminding ourselves is tough. It's hard. Like I said,
That's right.
me sometimes miscalculating my value. When something happens, I feel slighted, I feel indignant, and I have to kind of stop myself and say, why do you feel that way? It's because you assumed your value was more than what that person is actually showing you. They're
Hmm.
doing what you ask them to do. They're not doing anything above and beyond. They're not consistent. This relates to all facets of life, relationships,
That's
work,
right.
whatever you want. Do not go in there thinking I am my mother's favorite, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. Don't think that you're all that, because you're not. You're a human. They're a human, and we are subject to different emotions. And if that emotion isn't adoration or love, how are you going to react to that? So same
Hmm.
thing with the music. If you're not getting the reaction of, oh my God, this is the hottest thing, this is the hottest TikTok single, this is the hottest thing on whatever. Did you assume that was going to happen when you have not put in the work in to show people that you are valuable, to
Mm.
have them understand that you are worth it? No. And if you haven't put that work in, you can't say, oh, no one appreciates me. What have you done to show them that you appreciate them? What have you done to show them, like, hey, I'm worth it? Nothing. You just put a song out. Like, even me, I think Here I Am is fun. I thought I Like You was great, but
I like it was great.
but I can honestly say that what I got from it, like reception wise, is what I put out. I didn't have my nose to the grindstone as I have now, because I didn't have the money at the time. But
Mm.
everything's an investment. If you're not willing to put that money and that time in, why would someone do it for you? If people can see that you put effort, guess where that it comes back. But if you just assume, I did my part, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. There's still ways to go. As an artist, there's always more you can do. Always more you can do. But yeah, again, but I'm not gonna lie. That when people do appreciate me without me like having to get my heart broken, it's great. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
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 great.
great. That's right. It's great.
You appreciate me? I didn't like overestimate my value? Oh my God, this is great. Of course it's great.
That's right.
When people can
It's great.
recognize it, those are the people you want. If you
Hmm.
constantly have to like tell people like, when when someone goes like, "Oh, that's actually good," or your little song, or are you still doing that? They are never going to see the level of worth
Hmm.
that you have. They're always going to wait for the shoe to drop.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But let them know
Hey,
you ain't Cinderella. We ain't out here looking for
I,
shoe flippers.
I just that's right. What I dislike is when people devalue what you do,
Hmm.
what another person does. Oh, you still
Right.
doing your little producer thing? Are you still
Yeah.
doing your little TV show?
Yeah.
Like my little TV show. Like you know how much all this little TV show costs? Like this ain't a little TV show. This is a huge investment. You know these computers, these
Right.
lights, these C
Right.
stands over there. Look, yeah.
Yes.
You know, well, I mean, I actually have light stands. I don't have C stands, but
No, I know what you mean,
but
but still, people don't see what
but
goes into
still,
it,
they don't see what goes into it, and then
and they don't
because
appreciate
they
it.
don't see it, they don't understand it. They don't appreciate it, and then they decide they want to devalue it. You know how much this camera costs? This lens, these lights.
Let them know. Let them
Like,
know,
nah,
Mr. Vaughn. Let them
you
know.
crazy. This ain't little nothing. This is
Right.
and people always have a different plan for themselves
Right.
that other people may not truly understand.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes through that. Oh, you're doing your little thing. Well, you may not understand what I'm really trying to do in this moment because you're not part of this, what
Yeah.
I'm
This
doing.
world. Yeah.
So I'm not really sharing all this with you. You
Mhm.
only see this part, so you don't really understand what I'm really trying to build and how I'm
Mhm.
really trying to build it.
Yeah.
And whether that's this show, whether it's music, whether it's whatever entrepreneurial thing that another person is doing, if
Right.
you're not in there on boots on ground with that person, you're not going to really
Mhm.
understand their vision.
Mhm.
You're not going to
Right.
understand their trajectory. So just,
Totally. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
tough. It's definitely tough. But
But it's tough.
uh, back to what you were saying, what I was saying about the diversity thing and having different people in my life. Jokingly, all my friends are civilians. Not even trying not trying to be funny. All my friends are like they're civvies. You know what I'm saying? Even just kind of just going beyond that. Even like the if I seek a mate, which is something very rare for me, I don't seek out someone who's in the same thing I'm in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So my friends, they understand. I've been blessed enough to have friends that understand. They're like, you know what, you picked a different path. You know, there are a lot of them do have jobs where it's like a 9 to 5, and they're happy, or they're satisfied rather, and they're
Right.
happy
They're
with what they're
satisfied.
doing. Yeah, but honestly, as hard as it is, I enjoy it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm doing what I love, finally, freely, without having to worry about schoolwork and worrying about someone saying, "Hey, can you come into work?" I make my own schedule. Not saying my
Right.
lifestyle is better than yours, but it's better suited to me.
That's right.
I couldn't do what you're doing, and you probably couldn't do what I'm doing. I have so many tabs open, Mr. Vaughn. I know you have so many different tabs open, and some people get overwhelmed by that. But we're constantly having it on rotation. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
people appreciate what it is to sit there and put on this hat. Top of the morning to you to put this hat. What's up, man? Put this hat on. Good morning. Good evening. So many different hats you're
That's
putting
right.
on, and you're sitting there just putting on different. You're showing different sides of yourself. It's
Mm.
emotionally draining. It's physically taxing. It's spiritually. Oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. And to
It's tough.
maintain it and maintain it and maintain it, I don't think people appreciate it as much as they should. They don't look at that person, they think, wow, I admire their work ethic. They go, oh, they like to struggle. Like, I'm
Right.
not struggling. I'm not struggling. I can tell you right now, I'm not struggling. I've been put in a situation where I can do what I want to do right now, so I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
advantage of it. And it may not be a guaranteed thing, but at least I know I'm doing something that makes me happy. This hobby of mine this predilection has become
Mm.
profitable, you know? So
Predilection. Look at that.
also I said the
Yes.
wordplay is here.
That's okay. But that's because, look, that's because she teaches English too, so she's using
Yep.
words. Yeah, that's right.
This is how I
That's
usually speak.
right.
I know. And I know you understand.
Predilection.
But it's true.
That's
My
right.
predilection has become profitable for
Mm-hmm.
me. And, I don't need you to have to like you said, boots to the ground. I don't need you to be there for me, but I don't need you spitting at me while I'm down here in these trenches.
Mm.
Because when I start to rise, when I get all these accolades, and it's like, oh my God, I always knew you could do it.
Oh, but did you though?
I knew I could do
Okay.
it too, though. But
That's
but
right.
like I said, I've been fortunate enough to have people in my life, even my family. All of them are in medicine. I was the one that was like, I want to follow my dreams, and they're like, okay, when's the next show? So
That's
my
good.
I appreciate it, but I don't have like a, my parents terminally my biggest obstacle is me. My biggest
Mm.
obstacle is money. Because I didn't get a chance to answer that earlier, but my biggest obstacle is not having enough money, right? But I hate
Mm-hmm.
asking people for money, so I rather work. But when I work, it's like a catch-22,
It's a catch-22.
a double bind of just,
That's
ugh,
right.
But
That's
again,
right.
I'm not gonna complain because I'm putting out music that I'm proud of. It's allowing me to sit there and really work and cultivate. And so when I finally
Mm-hmm.
harvest all these seeds of, the fruits of my labor, if you will, I can be proud of it, and it could be undeniable.
That's
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because
That's right.
no one can tell me nothing about Here I Am. I love that song. I love that song. I love that song. I'm so proud of it.
Yeah,
It took me a
it's a
while.
great song, and that's okay. That's okay. I
Thank
mean,
you.
how long? I don't know if we can truly determine how long a song is supposed to take, right? And
Right.
like,
Right.
so there are
Yeah.
songs that we hear now that may have been written. I interviewed a guy,
Uh,
Fugitive Moods. Make sure you check that interview out if you haven't, audience. But Fugitive Moods talked about how he wrote a song, but he wrote the song like, I'm gonna get the timing wrong. Of course, I'm just making it up. 10 years
right.
ago, but it's
Right.
getting ready to
Right.
come out. And he's like, I wrote this a while ago. But
Yeah.
a lot of songs are like that. It may not be for
Yes.
that moment, but it may be for this moment. And that is
Right.
when that song comes out. And that's the time for this song
Yeah.
is now.
Yeah.
Is now.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. There's no straight path. So when people say, "What's your 5-year plan?" I can give you a very general idea.
That's right.
But things have happened in my life. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to sit there and take 2 years to write a song. I did not
Mm-hmm.
expect that at all. But I kind of got lost in my own sauce. Like, I Like You came out, and I was like, I can't write anything better than I Like You. Yeah. But it also was because I wasn't finding any production that was really moving me.
mm,
So
that's
timing.
timing. It's all about timing. It's all about
Mhm.
timing. So,
Yeah.
so let me ask you. So, Chantel Nicole, we have been speaking for some time. I've been enjoying it. I
Yes.
love your energy
Yes.
and just your personality. So, let me ask you. So, what advice would you have for anyone trying to get into this music industry? What would you tell them?
Okay. So I would tell them, first of all, if you're afraid, ask yourself why. And if you're afraid, what can you do with that fear? Either you use it or you lose it. And what I mean by that, people think of fear as like a pejorative thing. And it can be if you allow it to diminish your spirit, if you allow it to keep you from going forward. My fear of failure is what's keeping me from stopping. My fear of becoming mediocre and entitled is what's stopping me from stopping. So, I mean, or if you want to be fearless, you got to overcome that. Keep going. I mean, you could just lose the fear and just say, "Hey, I'm going to do this," or use it to propel you forward. It doesn't have to be something that you're ashamed of. I'm afraid. I'm afraid things might not work out, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. And I think that's one thing people should take with them. I mean, take those wings and fly as high as you can, because yes, you might get too close to the sun, but at least you can say, I took that leap. At least I literally aimed for the moon or the sun, whatever. Not saying be Icarus, but definitely go for it, because you're gonna look back and say, "Oh yeah, I wish I could have did that," or maybe you won't. Maybe you don't have any regrets, but it'll always come into your mind like, "Oh man, I should have did that. I should have did that." And yeah, that's my best advice for you. Fear, use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
Use it or lose it. I had a pastor who used to say, "Do it afraid."
Ooh,
I was like,
felt that.
"Ooh,
Yeah.
do it afraid." If you're
Yeah.
afraid, still do it, but do it
Right.
afraid.
Right.
I'm
What's
gonna
the
do
what's
it.
the what's the worst that's gonna happen? You look silly. Okay.
That's
Then come
right.
back and do it better. That's it. That's it.
That's right.
If, take the notes that people give you, even if it's just them people hating. Take it. Take the note. Take the
Mm-hmm.
note, because either you're going to get offended, but if it's the truth, why not improve upon it? And if it's false, in one ear, out the other.
That's
Bam.
right. That's right. In one ear, out the other.
Exactly.
Wow, I love it. I love your advice. Like I said, I love your energy
Thank you.
and just your personality. So, where can people find you? How can they connect to you, with you,
Yeah.
and to also check out your music?
Okay, so I'm Miss Chantel Nicole on everything except on TikTok. On TikTok, I'm Okie Tokie, and I went viral because of K-pop on TikTok, by the way, with Teddy Riley's old group, which is weird. It's weird that you
Oh,
mentioned Teddy.
wow.
But yeah, so it's Miss Chantel Nicole on absolutely everything. My music is on every single platforms, even in the one in Spain. So listen, y'all, just type Chantel Nicole. You might see somebody from TLC. Look for my brown face. All right. Let the brownness lead you to happiness. And also stream Here I Am, and give lots of love to Mr. Vaughn here and We Create Music TV. Thank you so much for your time. I am nothing
No,
without
thank
people like
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, y'all make sure you check her out, check out her music, and support. Right,
Yeah.
support. Definitely, that's the thing. I don't mind taking people's money. If you want to give it to me, like, give it up, because we
Yeah.
got stuff that we want to buy
Run
and
them coins.
short films that we want to do and movies that we want to. So, come on, bring it
Right.
over here. So we,
Right.
but give it to Chantel first, and then we'll take some after that. But because our platform is to support independent artists,
Thank you.
musicians, producers, songwriters, etc., and help them to have a voice and to succeed. So. So Chantel Nicole, it has been great to have you on. Stick around for just one moment while I close this
Yes.
out.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, wow. All right, so great interview, a ton of gems, a lot of great stuff that's in there. Please make sure you support Chantel Nicole. Check out her music, Here I Am. You can just go right to SoundCloud, YouTube, check out the music, but she got some dope songs. I Like You, Like It, I Miss You. Check it all out. Support the album when it comes out, Chroma. We're going to be looking forward in kind of like that spring of 2022, which is going to be right around the corner. So I definitely am going to be supporting and purchasing that album and jamming to it, during the spring and summertime. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into another interview segment here at We Create Music TV. I love all of my people who subscribe to the channel. So if you have not subscribed, please make sure that you do. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right? I don't know why that's so hard, but help us get there. That'll be awesome to help us get to 1,000 subscribers, because it helps us to support this channel and make it more relevant. Well, relevant is not the right word, but more positioned on YouTube, because YouTube is like a battleground. It's like a war zone trying to get up in the rankings on YouTube. So help support the channel. Appreciate you being here, and yeah, catch us every Monday and Thursday for content. Check out all the past content we've dropped, but appreciate you being here. Peace.